Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 4, 5, I can count, with some more multiplayer racing. For this one, we are going, yes, you read the title correctly, racing with some diesel-powered cars, because, well, there's a diesel engine swap available, which means, yes, this Corvette that would not traditionally be powered by a diesel engine, well, has one. And in fact, we have a lot of cars that were not traditionally powered by diesel engines in this one. I don't think anything here would have had even a diesel option. As you can see, it's mostly a collection of muscle cars and American cars, and I think there's one TVR thrown in for good luck. They might have changed. No, they changed their mind. It's all American cars with the diesel engine. There are some modern ones, like a Ford Mustang, and then there are some very old ones, like a Charger and a Cuda and Firebird and an El Camino. Who knows what's going to happen. A lot of cars haven't gone for all-wheel drive. I have swapped all-wheel drive into my Corvette, hoping to be good off-road. I'm on off-road race tyres. Not everyone is going to have gone for that route, but we have no real specific off-roady style vehicles here, which would have been very possible with this restriction, if you like, for the event. So I could be quite strong on the off-road bits. When it gets to the tarmac races, I don't know. We don't have the most amount of power. This engine is capable of well over 1,000 horsepower. I have 500. Oh, and I have locked the brakes up immediately. That is not so good. That Gremlin, you might go all-wheel drive with that, I would think. I'd say I would think. That would probably be how I would build that particular car. I doubt it's going to have very big tyres. Eccentric's got a lot of power, but he's going to really struggle to get that to turn. Yep, Eccentric found the trees. It's an awful lot of power going through the rear wheels of the Hemi Cuda, and it was not going to turn. So it seems to be a case of, can I chase down a Gremlin and hope for the best? Yeah, we might be able to do something here. I say, it'll be difficult to know. We definitely are down on straight line speed. Now, I don't have any aero parts on my car. In the Forza Aero, I've tended to go that way with my builds in the hope of preserving some sort of straight line speed in my cars, and it works to a degree. However, that thing is rapid. It's also got very weird when it goes into the distance. Like when it's the longer range, it's not even got wheels when it goes into the distance. Like the longer range LOD or whatever it is very funky on the Gremlin. It went through many different colours. It kind of did like a whole chameleon paint swap. We've really closed up through that section, so I wonder if we've got better quarter speed. There we go, handling, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. It pulls away a little bit from us when we get... when we get sort of onto these straights. I'm going to guess the Gremlin's a bit lighter than I am, although it's actually struggling this lap around. It had a really good first lap, and now we're putting it under more pressure here. It's going to slide wide. We're going to try and cut back underneath it. We're on the outside for the next corner. This time, though, we make the pass stick. We will be careful through here. Don't go and piss away the lead immediately. That's like that, for example. Although the Gremlin must have been really fast through that corner. On a tight line, going to struggle to carry much speed on the exit and cannot do it. So, how fast is the Gremlin down the straight? Is it going to be able to catch us? We know we're a little bit better in these high-speed corners. Last time around here, we were quicker than the Gremlin. You can see the understeer from that car. It understeered up into the wall. That's got aero on it as well. So my guess is going to be... It's going to have small tyres. I think this is 285 at the front, was it? Might have been a little bit smaller than that. But I'm going to guess the Gremlin will have much smaller tyres. We will get in trouble. I was leaving space in case there was a nose of a Gremlin having a look. But that did put me on a little bit of a wonky line. However, no fear, we have got everything under control with the Corvette. We can pull a little gap. Once we get into this section, we are definitely quicker. We've got that little bit more front-end grip that is desperately needed around... I say desperately. Is helpful around this track. I do like this layout. Don't use it... I don't use it all the time, but yeah, it is a fun layout. this one. You've got some long straight, you've got some very fiddly kind of handling sections, if you like. The Gremlin is just fallen back a little bit further. I think if we don't make any silly mistakes on this final lap, we should be pretty well sorted. We will have just a little tap on the brakes, actually. So maybe slow down a little bit too much, but I think I'd rather be a little... I don't want to go make a silly mistake. Like, we worked hard to chase down the Gremlin. I was a bit too early into the hairpin, though. I struggle getting that hairpin right. I often outbrake myself down there. Don't want to make a silly mistake, throw it away. Don't want to now underdrive the car and also throw it away. The Gremlin's never going around the outside of us there. In fact, they're going to lose a bunch of time being stuck out wide. We did not get as much slowing down. So I dive out wide to avoid going through the water. The less water you go through, the less speed you shrug off. However, actually on that corner there, going through the water is probably not a terrible idea because you need to shrug off speed for the turn after it. And yeah, that dive to the outside line, that is never stopping. I mean, that's you've got to try something back there. I respect the attempt made, but the car that's been struggling to try and outhandle me this race, that was ambitious. It was a good effort. It was an ambitious one, though. Good race. Enjoyed that race. A little bit of an iffy final lap. I think I backed it off a bit too much at the start of that one, or the Gremlin found some pace. And yeah, we then had to actually battle it around the lap. It was good fun, though. I like the Corvette. Solid overall vehicle. Actually, I think it was a faster lap on the final lap. The Gremlin just found some more pace. The Cuda was very quick, but I imagine very difficult to drive. Because it was rear-wheel drive with a lot of power down to 13.0, but hit a tree at the start and was clambering back up. Yeah, I mean, the Corvette is just a solid, all-round, strong choice of car. So, well, I say that. So far in that race, it looked, fairly decent all round. We head to the Plaza circuit for our next race. I mean, I'm not holding out crazy amount of hope here. I know the Buick's on slicks. There's a couple of cars on rally tyres around here. There'll probably be a few on tyres I haven't seen. All-wheel drive is good for me in that we can fire our car off some of the slower corners very nicely. And that will give us some lap time. We will probably end up battling with... I'd imagine we'll end up battling with the Gremlin again. I feel like we're gone a similar route in terms of our build. Some of the madder, more powerful vehicles might struggle at this one. They might work at some tarmac tracks, but this is pretty technical as far as circuits go, funnily enough. Yeah, might struggle to get the power down in some of these slower corners. We are good through turn number 1. If we can charge our way to the front early, that's always helpful, and then potentially worry about defending as the race goes on. We will have to wait and see. Oh, it all turned in. All turned in a little bit too soon. There is a very slidey dodge. We will get ourselves past there and move up a position. Okay, the Buick is coming with us a little bit. That is to be expected. We maybe figure out a way past the Firebird. I should say the gears in this vehicle, yes, I appreciate they are pretty wacky. For some reason, when I put the diesel engine, I don't know if it's in every diesel engine swap, but it's certainly in this Corvette. When I put the diesel engine in, the stock gear ratio, actually the stock gearbox didn't want to let it go above 90 miles an hour. An upgraded gearbox let it get to 110. This is maxed out on terms of gear ratios, which is, yeah, not great really for it. So there's just a lot of changing of gears are going on in this. I mean, it's got a mountain of torque, so if I'm slightly in the wrong gear, it'll normally be fine. We've had a very good first lap actually, which is helpful. Because yeah, we've got a gap. We've got the sort of gap that we would want in this. The Buick's almost up to second, which could well be fast. I think it's still rear-wheel drive, so again, we can launch off the corners well. But Buick does have those slicks. It may well have some good corner speed if it can use it. Get stuck in traffic is never a helpful one either. But we've definitely got pace here. It's the traction I get out of these corners. If everyone else is struggling, I don't know what happened. I'm surprised that the Gremlin is as far back as it is. I was expecting that to... I guess the Gremlin was struggling with some of the corners in the previous track. We saw it struggling with understeer. And I guess this is a very technical layout, so this might be a worst case scenario for the Gremlin in some ways. In fact, it is an El Camino. I think the El Camino's on rally tyres, from what I saw. So the rally tyres have got a little bit more grip on the tarmac than my off-road race tyres. They're actually pretty good tarmac tyres, and they're much better off-road than, you know, slicks or normal road tyres, funnily enough, but they aren't as good as the off-road race. That's how that one works. The El Camino's got a little bit of pace going on, so we're just going to kind of keep an eye on it and hopefully, I'll say run away, but hopefully stay out in front. The Hemi Cuda has got stuck in traffic. It hit the building at the same time as me. I don't know whether that got affected worse. We kind of bounced off the building through... I don't even know what turn number it is, but on the opening lap we just pinged off of it, no real harm done. We lost a smidge of time. It's one of the really easy traps to fall into, especially when everyone's in ghost mode. You just kind of inadvertently follow the cars around you, and it turns in a bit too much. Sometimes that means you end up turning in a bit too much as well. We are going to not do anything dumb through here. It's actually just a really... This is an easy car to drive. There's no real handling problems with it. You can tell it's not on slicks. It doesn't, like through here, for example, you can tell it's not on slicks. It doesn't quite carry the same turn-in as some of the A-Class cars that I would, you know, let's say, normally drive. This probably wouldn't be the build I would go on in a normal A-Class session, if you like. But it's certainly not bad. It understeers a smidge. Occasionally the back end feels a little bit loose, but it's not really, certainly nothing to be concerned about with it. You can pretty much put your foot down on the exit of every corner and it has traction, decent acceleration. There's really not much that I could fault the car for. The Buick's up to second now, and the Gremlin has made its way into a third position. We'll see on the lap time. I might not quite have the fastest lap of the race, but it was just all about building that gap. So that's what you've got to do if you can get a good start. We were a long way back in the on the grid. That's too brave in turn one. We were a long way back on the grid, but being one of the few all-wheel drive cars, I think, in this. Pushing it too hard. Don't overdrive it. We were able to make up a good chunk of those positions, a good chunk of time immediately. When we were third, by the exit of the first corner. It has been helpful. But yeah, now we got to the front. We're not really under any threat. The more fighting that goes on behind us, the better it is. I think the Gremlin's probably had a more exciting race. Gremlin Buick had a much more exciting race than me. We've just kind of trundled around here. I mean, it's nice to trundle around at the front, sure, but that is, yeah, basically a time trial for me. Oh, that hit the bump a little bit awkwardly. Not that I really care if I run wide. Yeah, we got... They weren't a million miles away at the start of the lap, but they've really fought each other over second place. We've had a very scruffy final lap. I'm glad that we didn't have any cars around us on this final one, as have been all over the place pretty much. We have got one more quarter to go, and it is going to be a second victory for the Corvette. It is a fearsome car, this one. It is a fearsome car indeed. Oh, and I think the Gremlin missed a checkpoint. Bloody hell. I mean, the Corvette is strong. Let's just have a look at fastest lap. I'm curious to see what some of the other cars were capable of. 29.7 for the Gremlin. So we even got fastest lap. We weren't a complete otherworld level of performance, but it was just very strong. And yeah, a good gap built at the start. I'll take it. 2 wins from 2. We're back off-road for our next race, the Baja Scramble game. That's very kind of you to put me on pole. This is going to be a strong track for me. It will probably come down to me versus the Gremlin. I should think so that the Hemi Cuda got fastest lap in the previous off-road race, but that did involve tarmac and some long straights. So while the Hemi Cuda, because it's rear-wheel drive, might be able to get the power down coming out of the sort of hairpin towards the end of the lap, and maybe on the exit of turn 1. I think in the midfield section it's just going to lose so much time scrabbling for grip that the likes of me and, well, anything else all-wheel drive, the Crown Vic looks like it might be. Yeah, the Gremlin's up to 3rd, so that's... The Gremlin's the one we've got to watch out for. We should be fast in the twist sections, but the corners are banked. Now, what that means is you can sometimes get away throwing in a car with not great handling. If you can be clever and use the banking to your advantage, you can sometimes get a really good run out of corners. So it may be a problem for me. Now, I left it the inside, to a degree, because there's a big puddle there. You don't actually want to go through the puddle. It costs you a load of momentum. That puddle is unavoidable, but we'll take the line of least resistance. I do always tend to run up high on that banking to try and slingshot the car out of the corner. Oh, a little bit of an awkward bounce on a landing there. But we can just carry momentum through this section here. There's going to be a sequence of corners that we can just be flat through, which is good. Now, where is the Gremlin going to go? I'm not sure the tight line was the way to go on this one. We will slide up on the exit. Gremlin's too far back to have a look, but here it comes. It's got some speed down towards this final corner. It's going to be on a tight line and it won't be able to maintain. That's why I didn't cut across it, because I didn't really want to be on the tight line. Oh, we're not so good on the bumps. That could be a deciding factor in favour of the Gremlin. Depends on how the suspension is on that car. Possibly. It's going to have a look. It's going to go to the outside through turn 1. Not turn 1, turn... God knows whatever number we're on here. It's still having a look. It's not really got anywhere to be finding a way past. At the moment, it's made a mistake. I think it may have eaten one of the tyres. I think one of the track markers may have gone underneath it on their end, and that went up the course badly, or controller malfunction or something. It's weird to see a car all the way up the wall there. So that is unfortunate, whatever's happened to it. It has lost a heap of time. I think ag suspension might be what gives us biggest letdown. Of course, first circuit we didn't really have to deal with bumps. There wasn't really any around the track, but the dirt part was fairly smooth. We had to deal with water, but I don't think my car is as good across the bumps. That is a little bit of a problem here. And it's not a surprise that C4 Corvette is not good across a Baja circuit. It's on rally suspension, but still, there's only so much that you can do with it. It is bucking around quite a lot there. As long as I don't get a big slide and lose a heap of time, we should be okay. I think we're quite evenly matched with the Gremlin again around here. We gain our sort of speed in different places, but over a course of a lap I think we're not too dissimilar. I've got to make sure I don't do anything dumb in these corners. I think that was decent enough. Never quite sure how to take that. It kind of like flows into one another. It's a little bit of a faff to get that one all right. We will once again jump to the narrow part. We should be able to run in flat out, I should think. Yeah, we can. Just run it flat out on the way in and carry some good speed on the exit. All is fine. In fact, we might have pulled away from the Gremlin this lap around. Corvette. Yeah, we have. The Gremlin may have made a mistake. Eccentric's got the mad Hemi-Cuda up into 3rd, which is pretty good going. Again, considering the amount of power going on in that, in a rear-wheel drive vehicle, that is doing pretty damn well. We will, again, try and minimise the bumps as best we can. This has been a pretty good lap for the Corvette. Immediately throw it away slightly by going sideways through turn 1. Yeah, the Gremlin has just not got an answer. I think we can carry too much quarter speed, then it just can't quite live with it. I think perhaps the other big difference is maybe over the course of one lap it can. The thing with the Corvette is it can just do it lap after lap, and it's unbelievably easy to kind of make the most of. It's, as I said before, there's no real handling problems with it. It's just good. It's got good acceleration, good top speed. Not the best in any of them, but it's good enough, and it's good through the corners, excellent traction. It's just an all-round, very, very solid car choice. We're extending the gap a little bit more. Can we lap a slick-tyred Buick? I think we probably can. Let's face it, I mean, I've done this before in my builds. I'm actually offered a champion of going for the slick tyre builds in these little race series we do. I will tend to sacrifice off-road performance because, well, I just like the pure handling cars. Today I've gone a little bit different with the Corvette in this, and I mean it's safe to say it's working. I think we're going to catch the poor, we've got the poor Buick, although let's hope we don't bounce the back of the car around horribly here, too horribly. Anyway, we will loop it through here, unless the Gremlin finds a crazy amount, it'll just be an insane amount of speed. We are under no pressure. Just don't miss a checkpoint is basically what we're at here. Don't do anything dumb. Don't miss a checkpoint. We will jump through the water. Not quite perfect positioning in all of that. Run up the banking. You can see the Buick's got nothing. It does try to get out of our way. A little bit of an awkward place to catch it. And, I mean, there's a little bit of an awkward place to catch it, and it's not like the Buick has much control. So, you know, as the car on the correct tyres, it's only right that I guess I change my line. It's much easier and safer for me just to have a small lift and change my line, especially when I've got this bigger a lead, than to expect the Buick to magically get it out of off the racing line perfectly. So all is fine, and we are going to take victory number 3 out of 3 for an unstoppable Corvette. That's a great ending shot across the board. I was saying unstoppable. It wasn't perfect there. It wasn't perfect in that it was a bit sketchy over the bumps. However, that was its one downside. Everywhere else, it was incredibly strong. Lap time, yeah, just a little. It's not, I said, it's not crazy, ridiculous amounts faster. It's just it does that lap time again and again and again, and it's easy to do that. The Cuda, the Gremlin, just can't quite live with that. Crown Vic, not a bad lap time either. I think that is also all-wheel drive and an off-road race. So far so good. Well, we are truly away from the Corvette's strength, well, perceived strengths anyway of this. Nice spot on the grid though, as we head to the Horizon Mexico circuit. I mean, this is more about top end. I think the Hemi Cuda is really going to be the one to watch here. That thing is a monster down the straights. It'll have the same compound tyres as me. Admittedly, the Corvette will probably be a bit lighter and might have wider front tyres, maybe. We'll see going into this. I do expect the Corvette still to be half decent. I just don't think it's going to be a sort of dominating force in this. We will try. The Gremlin shoots off into an early lead. I hope we can close it down through these corners. We'll have to wait and see. The Crown Vic's got no turn in whatsoever. To be expected. While the Crown Vic is a fun inclusion into this game, I've never really managed to get one to be any sort of decent. Where is that Hemi Cuda? It's currently in 8th. It was never going to be quick off the line. It was always going to spin the wheels and struggle. You can see how much we can close under brakes. And on the way off the bridge, the Gremlin just cannot turn. It just cannot carry that same speed. Now the Charger, don't know what tyres that's on. No idea. Not really seen much of it so far today. But that was having a little think about something there. Yeah, we're again, I think, going to have to do what we've done in the previous races, which is really, if we can build a gap at the start of this, we need to do it before the Hemi Cuda catches us. The Charger will not want to have a look through the final corner. It is one of the diciest places in the game to try and overtake. We will defend into turn 1 as that Charger is looking. It's got Forza Aero on it though, so it might struggle with real top speed. Not that I necessarily have the power for real top speed. There is a Ford having a slide. Mustang's having a big slide. I mean, we've got the composure through here. This is where we can carry some speed. In fact, Charger's lost out to the Ford. Ford is going to have a look to the outside. You know what? Go for it if you want. We will just hold our line nicely, but that is another one, I'm going to guess, that has got crazy power. It may be a case of an inevitability to a degree. We are again ugly inside and defend a little bit. You can see the Ford struggling massively for grip. It's still not got the power down. Now what this means is I can make life awkward for it. I'm going to send it around the outside through here. It will not be able to get on the power as early as I can, but it will have a lot more power. So we're going to try. I don't want to give you the inside through here. I'm going to make you work for it, because I know you've not got much grip through this final corner, but it was not going to matter. Tried everything I could. We held it for as long as we could, but off goes the Mustang into the distance a little bit. Can we get this place back? Realistically, I'm going to say probably not. Not without a mistake. Of course, the one thing I have going for me is my car is infinitely easier to drive. We're less likely to slide it, spin it, or miss a checkpoint. Not impossible, we're pushing hard, of course, but yeah, if something's going to miss a checkpoint, it's probably going to be the Ford rather than me. However, it looks like it's sorted it out. The Hemi Cuda is on the move a little bit. It's up to 4th. It might not quite catch us in time, though. The Ford, don't know what tyres that thing is on. Rear-wheel drive means it can have a very big chunk of power, and it is using it. Yeah, I'm not sure what that might be on. Rally, maybe? Although that would normally eat up a big bit of PI. Might be on off-road race and rear-wheel drive, although then if it was an off-road race I would expect to see it faster at the off-road circuit, which we haven't really seen, which makes me wonder if it's on something different. Us bumping the wall there wasn't really helpful. Yeah, don't know, but we'll find out at the end of race screen, and it's just you know, the random speculations of the car in second. It hasn't got a chance. I mean, I say this is the fun with these style of events. You know, you often build, or you want to build a specialist car. You want to build a car that's going to be strong somewhere. If you try and build a car that works everywhere, you run the risk of getting a car that isn't really fast enough anywhere. It's something I used to do a lot when I started out on this game. In this set of events, with these restrictions, with these cars, my Corvette is probably the best overall. It's the best performing on tarmac and off-road, but it's not going to win everything. It was very good on the dirt, and on a twisty tarmac circuit it can keep up with the best of them. But here, it's showing the car's weakness. We're under immense pressure because of our lack of straight-line speed. We just do not have the top end to compete with that Ford, or with the Hemi Cuda, I should think, if it clears the Charger. It's only got a lap to find its way through here, so the Hemi Cuda might struggle to pass us. But yeah, we're seeing a whole bunch of different cars mix it up in this race. It's always a great challenge to try and build something good overall for this. As I said, you know, you kind of have to specialise a little bit, and when I've gone full off-road. I've gone full commitment to the off-road in the hope that it's going to be good enough when we get to the tarmac as well, and it has worked. We're talking about it, having won 3 races and on course for a podium in this one, hopefully a second if we can hold off against Eccentric here. We will again barrel into the head. We know Eccentric's got great straight line speed, and there is very little I can do about it. It's helpful that the Charger is causing issues here. It's helpful that the Dodge is fighting this one. We're braking, I say, I may have braked a little bit early through there. I've still got a bit of understeer. Nothing compared to the handling problems of the cars behind us. Here goes the Hemi Cuda. It's going to try and make it around the outside, or is it going to try cut back underneath? I'm not sure. It's not quite got the grip to do it. We'll hold second, but only just. I mean, as expected, well outside the wheelhouse of the Corvette. Still performed admirably, though, to end up in second place there. The Ford claims a victory. That was monstrously quick around there. The Hemi Cuda was a little faster. Oh, me and Ice sets pretty much identical lap times. Damn. Buick had a bit of pace as well, not that dissimilar to me and the Charger. Oh dear, what type? That is on off-road race. It's just got monstrous levels of power. All off-road race cars win on the tarmac or on the podium. Sure. However, 2 very differently built ones to me. We head onto our final race at the Estadia circuit. Could we get 4 wins out of 5? We can't get a Grand Slam today, but we could maybe get a 4th. This track is more to our liking than the festival circuit, but we might still run out of speed. Will be good. There's a couple of points we'll be very strong at. The final... I say the final corner, I guess it's kind of the curve on the straight towards the finish line, but the slow sections will have that traction. We know we've got decent grip as well. The high-speed corners may be the undoing of the likes of the Hemi Cuda and the Mustang. We will see. The Gremlin, I think, might struggle as well in some of the twisty bits, as it has done so far. Actually, we're a little bit deep into turn 1. But yeah, we'll see what we can do with the Corvette. It has certainly been strong so far. Crown Vic runs a little bit wide. We have a good run through in the ghost mode to put ourselves up into second. Okay, we've got a different Mustang in front of us. Let's see what we can do about this one. We'll see if Buick can do anything on those slick tyres, although it's stuck in traffic a little bit. We'll have a lift through here, carrying good speed. Oh, Ford wanted to be a lot slower through there than I wanted to be, but had no choice but to follow it. We need to get this pass done quickly because the other Mustang is on the march. We're trying to get to the inside through here, and we will now get the pass completed. This is where, as I said, we will likely be strong here. On the exit, we can put the power down. However, there's no real twisty sections for a little while, so that black Mustang is going to come soaring through if it doesn't slide up into the wall. Can it be flat through here? Possibly. It's not really the most technical of sort of parts. We will try and fire our way back through. We've got to do this. I can't let the Mustang be in front of us through the turn. The second it is, it's gone, basically. We will try and hold on. I think it might be too late for us already here. It's going to go flying through. Now, it will maybe struggle here. No, it's got enough grip to get away with it. It will, again, probably be a bit of a handful through some of these sections, although my car's not exactly the easiest to drive through through there, so I'm not sure where the Kremlin's going. Kremlin's going to do some farming, I think. By the looks of it, I don't think we've got much of an answer for the Ford. I mean, we're quick at the twisty parts, there's just not enough of them here around the lap. I think again we've probably got the second fastest car. I don't see much being able to live with this. The Hemi Cuda, I mean, it's quick. I think it is quick, don't get me wrong, but it seems it's just not quite as fast as the Mustang. And I don't think it's going to be able to cut its way through the traffic well enough either. The Mustang was out wide and clonked the railing. We clonked the railing a little bit, but yeah, I've got no answer. I got no answer for that straight line speed. This is a sacrifice, as I said, this is the sacrifice you make when you build these cars. You're going to have a compromise somewhere in the build, and my compromise is I am woeful in terms of straight line speed, apparently woeful in terms of driving. That's not the car's fault, that's a me fault. That's a little bit of me now overdriving, trying to catch a pretty much impossible target, I think. There's not much that I can really do here. I guess maybe this circuit is not slow enough. The thing with the Plaza circuit is there's some very, very slow sections in there where the big rear-wheel drive powerhouses just couldn't use all their power. They couldn't put it down to the road because they just sat and spun. Around here, there's a couple of areas, but they are generally a little bit faster corners. I mean, even here, you're up at 80 and 90 miles an hour. So, while they'll still struggle a bit, it's not as bad as some of the corners that they could be asked to deal with. But God knows how much power that Mustang's got in it, but the answer is a lot, I'm going to guess. The Hemi Cuda is up to third again, so we'll see if that can close the gap to us. I mean, sadly this has been a little bit of just, again, a hot lap session. This time it's a hot lap session in second rather than for the lead of the race. Oh, that's a terrible line through there. I should have swung that out much wider. But yeah, with the Hemi Cuda ensnared in traffic for a lot of this, we will see, lap time wise, how comparable it is. I mean, judging from, I guess, from the gap as it's going on in the race, it's similar pace to me. I might be a tiny smidge faster, but probably not a huge difference. But no one's going to have an answer for the Ford, so as long as I don't beans up a checkpoint through here, I mean, it's still going to be, again, still going to be an incredibly strong series of races. 3 first places and 2 second places is a sign of a good car. We don't quite work on the tarmac, all of the tarmac circuits. We can work on the very twisty ones, though. And off-road, the Corvette was very, very strong. Gremlin put up a good fight in places, gave us a little bit of a scare here and there. However, as an overall car, yeah, this thing is good. Oop, that tie. See, I was trying to not do what I did last lap and go too narrow on the way through. That time I just went too wide and bumped the wall. And we kissed that one as well. Oh, well done to the Mustang. That thing was savagely fast on these final couple of tarmac circuits. Really no answer for me at all. We'll take a second, a lonely second though, for our Corvette, but immense consistency with this over a whole series of races. Did we get faster lap than the Hemi Cuda? That's the real question. It was close. Not quite. We probably would have had a great battle had we been close together on track. But there we go. On the other Mustang, the 93 got into 4th ahead of the Gremlin. Gremlin did not like that track at all. Interesting. Well, there we go. That is going to be that for this video. Corvette, funnily enough, very, very good choice in all of this. That, though, shall be it from me. If you would like to sign up to take part in the next one of these, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versus the Community sign up section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, shall be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.